What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another FC26 video where today we're going to be going through some of the most asked questions that I have on my social platforms about FC26, including can points be transferred, when does the game actually release, what's happening with player of the months, and a few other bits and bobs here today as well guys. But before that, we're going to look at what we have got left in FC25 for FC26. Of course, we did get something extra yesterday, but I want to run you guys through everything that still remains that you can get for FC26 if you wanted to. Some of you guys don't care, especially due to the fact that we don't get the content until October the 10th or so, which is a full month basically into the game, at which point, you know, an 83x3, an 80x5, packs like that don't really matter that much, but I mean, it's still possibly worthwhile doing. Now then, guys, if you're enjoying the content here on the channel and you wouldn't mind dropping a thumbs up, it would be very much appreciated. Of course, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already and hit that bell to get notified, guys, for more FC26 content. So, to look at what we've still got available in FC26, we are looking at what the most important thing I'd say at the moment is the season pass. Now, you can have got to the end of the season pass right now. As you can see for me, I'm not there yet. I'm only at level 20 of, is it 35 this season? Might be 40. So I need about 15,000 SP. There's probably about like 3,000 or 4,000 available. And I feel like I'm very close to that bonus 4,000 SP. So I need a little bit extra. I'm actually very surprised at the lack of SP EA have given the fact that we're on the last season of the game and there is literally less than 2 weeks left now before we get our hands officially on FC26. But of course, by doing FC25 Season 10 Preseason Season Pass, that's a lot of the word season, you will get an 84x5 in FC26. Now, I think it's fair to say that that is actually quite a good pack, an 84x5 for just completing the Season Pass. So probably still worth doing. We also got, of course, just yesterday, the brand new evolution that I have got Frida Mornum in. The Club Is Yours 3 evolution is the one. It has now been announced what you get from this. I saw it on one of the leakers or FC creators on X the other day. You get an 83x3 upgrade and a 5-match icon loan. So to get an 83x3 and a 5-match icon loan, just go and put quite literally anybody into here, play 2 matches in any mode, play 2 matches in any mode, win 2 matches in any mode. You could do that if you're still working on other things anyway, but if you're not working on other things, then of course you can just go ahead and play against a friend and get that done nice and easy. So that's for an 83x3 and a 5-match icon loan. Now, there are also a couple of objectives still available for the new game. We have still got Gritty to Glory daily play. Now, by the time this video goes out, you won't be able to start it and finish it. But as of right in this moment, you need to complete this 5 times, the daily play, and I've got 2 hours left and then 4 more days. So even if you've only done 1, you can still do it at the time of this video being released. You'll still be able to do it, and that obviously only gets you the Gritty celebration in FC26. Somebody in my stream, in my comment section the other day, rightfully said, unless you're like a streamer or a content creator, this is kind of pointless to do because nobody's going to see you do the celebration. So not that people need to see you do the celebration for it to be meaningful, but I certainly think that, yeah, it's really just not going to make any difference. I'm not overly fussed on completing this myself, which is why I still haven't done it yet. But it is still there if you want to go and do it. And then we've also got the Club Is Yours 2 is still there for 7 days. This will give you an 80x10 players pack and a centre mid box-to-box plus Evo for a max 83 overall in FC26. And to complete that, you need to play 10 games with 4 English players in your starting 11. And again, you could do that against a friend. You could do that whilst doing the evolution as well. You need to assist 10 goals with through balls with French players. You need to score 10 goals using finesse shots with German players. I did all of this in squad battles. And then you need to win 6 games with 5 Spanish players. I've got 3 left to go there personally. And win 4 games with 3 Italians. So you could basically do all of this together as well, especially if you use subs for the German and French players. You could do that all together, but that's still available as well. So you've got that, you've got the Gritty to Glory, you've got the Evolution for the This Is Your Club, the Club Is Yours level 3, and you've still got the Season Pass. So there is still a bit to play for when it comes to FC26 on FC25. But one of the things that I'm being asked a lot is, can we transfer points from FC25 to FC26? I don't know is the answer. As you'll see on the screen right here, guys, on the EA forums. Now, I read a thread on the EA forums the other day where there was an EA representative or user that had said, yes, that has since doesn't exist anymore. I don't know if it was maybe something from last year, perhaps, and I just didn't read the date, but I couldn't find it anymore. Just even clicking the link just takes me to an error page. But here you can see FC 20 points transfer from 25 to 26 confirmed. And the person here, Raw, says, just had the reply from someone on EA live chat about 10 minutes ago. Surely that's enough of a confirmation. And it is the live chat saying, this guy says, do you know if the one-time transfer policy is FC points will be available in the new FC26 game? When I load up for the first time, will I get a pop-up that asks me if I want to transfer my points? And then the person says, I will surely try my best to help you with the correct information, and then responds with, yes, one-time points transfer option will be here. Now, it hasn't been officially announced from EA, and that's what somebody else in the chat here says. I would wait for someone to confirm on here. Apparently, live chat not correct sometimes. Now, we have historically been able to transfer points from one game to the next, but only on the same family platform. So only from PS4 to PS4, or PS4 to PS5, or PS5 to PS5, or Xbox One to Xbox One, etc. You're not able to be like, oh, I want to be on Xbox this year. I was on PC last year. Can I transfer my PC points to Xbox? No, you can't. Can you transfer your Xbox points to PlayStation? No, you can't. And vice versa, of course. Now, we've had this, as I say, historically, we've always had the ability to transfer points going forwards. However, what I would be very wary about this year is in NHL, somebody said NHL points didn't transfer. What does this mean for FC points? points didn't transfer for the new NHL game. I hope EA don't do this with FC26, as I have 6k FC points on my FC25 account. So I don't know if that's historically accurate with NHL in general, or if this is the first time around. But what I would say, guys, is that in spite of the fact that it has always been available on FC/FIFA historically, and the EA support chat has said it is, what this person says is absolutely correct. The kind of live chat, they read off of an answer book. They don't actually know what they're talking about, like 99% of the time. So I would be very, very cautious and wait to figure out and find out whether or not it's transferable. The other thing that's interesting with the FC points transfer balance, you used to, like, I remember in like FIFA 15, FIFA 16, FIFA 17, I used to load up like my main account with genuinely hundreds of thousands of FIFA points. And the reason why you would start early is because there was a hard limit on how many points you could buy. You know, you'd put in like, I think it was like 72,000 points, or maybe 144,000 points. And then you had a 24-hour cooldown before you could buy even more. And obviously back then, the game was a bit different, and ripping packs was not only one of the only forms of content availability back in those days, but it also generated like unbelievable views and viewership. These days, I don't know if the hard limit is still there anymore, but you don't need to just rip packs, man. Like, there is so much fun stuff in the early stages of the game. Objectives, SBCs, we're going to have tournaments, we're going to have Gauntlet, like, you're going to have like evolutions, you're going to want to play the game. At least me personally, I feel like I've moved on from wanting to load up hundreds of thousands of points. Am I going to open some packs? Yes, I absolutely am. Am I going to spend more than the game, but, you know, playing or paying for the game on it? No, I'm absolutely not. And I would, you know, I would suggest to people that unless you've already got points on FC25 where you're like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to just move them across? I wouldn't. Don't even worry. Just wait until the new game's out, then load them up, then spend your points. Right? I don't think you need to be like worrying about preloading points if you're going to load points in the first place. Right there, guys. We've also got. I just want to show this on our good friend, the Foot Accountant's video that he uploaded a few days ago. He's got like a little calendar thing here. I couldn't find it personally, but obviously we've had some news on the new icons on the 8th. We get, I don't know what that is there, but he's got like Real Madrid. I don't think it's going to be a demo. We haven't had a demo in years. The 8th is in 2 days, so it does look like something might be coming there. On the 9th, it looks like we're getting the database, which is a bit strange from EA because the database is out there already, like by multiple sources where you can go and play around with it. People are already making like starter squad videos and tweets and stuff, and I will get involved in that as well. But on the 9th, when the official database is out, because it would be a pain, wouldn't it, to build all of this content and then EA make some significant changes. I don't think they will, but maybe they will. And then it looks like on the 10th, we lose the FC25 web app. On the 12th, maybe there's some... Maybe that is the web app, I don't know. And then on the 15th, we're getting another pitch notes, which will be about the content and whatnot, what's coming in the start of the game. And we've got something about that as well a little bit later on today. It's something brand new that's coming, that's also something that is almost coming back that you might want to stick around for to find out what that is as well. So there's a few things happening. We're already on the 6th of September anyway. So in 2 days' time, 3 days' time, and 4 days' time, it's really going to start ramping up towards, you know, FC26 content. And then in terms of the release dates, the release dates for EA Sports FC26 are the same for PC and console, but PC players can get a global early access start time that may allow them to play slightly earlier than console users in certain regions. And so, the standard edition, the worldwide release for all platforms, is Friday, September 26th, 2025. And then the Ultimate Edition, owners of the Ultimate Edition can start playing on Friday, September 19th, a week before the launch. However, as you'll see it go on to specify here, and I think this is really important depending on where you live and what platform you're on, PC players, users who purchase the Ultimate Edition on PC, will get a simultaneous worldwide release time based on the New Zealand time zone, and that is why we are all taking a holiday in a couple of weeks' time to New Zealand. This means they can begin playing at 1 p.m. British summertime on Thursday, September 18th, 2025. So if you are a PC player, you will get the game around 1 o'clock on Thursday. You will have it for 11 hours before anybody else on console. However, for console players, console users will have to wait until midnight on September 19th in their local time zone to access the game. Now, of course, if you are from New Zealand, which we are all going to be come that Thursday, your local time will be 1 p.m. on Thursday. That will be midnight for you in New Zealand. I've got a New Zealand account, let's say, on my PlayStation here that is like where you start the account is where the time zone is like locked, the way the PSN accounts work. So I managed to use that last year to get the game 9-10 hours earlier last year. Quite regularly though, there will be workarounds and ways to get in even if you're from UK on a UK account. But also, worst case scenario, you just get it 11 hours later. You know, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's like you're not really going to miss out on anything, I don't think. You know, I don't expect EA to put any kind of like 6 p.m. content out on that day, maybe not even at all throughout that week. I don't think that anybody's going to really miss out on anything because they got the game the time the game was supposed to come out rather than a few hours earlier. But you never, ever know. Now then, there is a lot. Why have I got this here? I can't remember. There is a lot to say about the Player of the Month. You can now vote on EA's website for Player of the Month, La Liga, Premier League, Serie A, and we've already got the winners now of the Bundesliga and Liga F. We've got Player of the Month options for La Liga: Lamine Yamal, Kylian Mbappe, Nico Williams, Per Mila, and Nicolas Pepe. In the Premier League, we've got Ricardo Calafiori, who should obviously win it. Hugo Ekitike, Jack Grealish, Mark Gahey, Erling Haaland, Joao Pedro, Semenyo, and Szoboszlai. And then for the Serie A, we've got Christensen, McTominay, Nico Paz, Sule, Thuram, and Yildiz. Now, it says at the bottom here, and I think it's really important to note this as well, the Player of the Month winner of this campaign will not receive a special in-game item in EA Sports FC26 Ultimate Team. It did say that last year as well, yet we still got some Player of the Month cards last year anyway. And so it is potentially something that EA are just saying, maybe to keep some hype built, some suspense or whatever. However, EA are absolutely trying their best to, trying their best to curtail the power curve this year. And, you know, let's say the La Liga Player of the Month, or even like the Bundesliga, Michael Olise won the Player of the Month. I don't know what Olise's FC26 card is. Let's say Olise FC26. But, of course, if EA are trying to curtail the power curve a little bit, Olise's FC26 rating, surely it's not an 82. It has to be. It has to be higher than an 82 for that Michael Olise card. Oh, there we go. So it's an 85 rated. So if you won a Player of the Month, it'd be an 86 rated. It would have Finesse Shot Plus. It'd be absolutely banging. All of a sudden, now everyone's got the ability to complete an Olise SBC, and that player is going to be in their team for ages. So even though last year EA said that there would not be an SBC, I wouldn't be surprised if this year, and of course last year there was, I wouldn't be surprised if this year they say there isn't going to be an SBC and there actually isn't. Because if Lamine Yamal wins the Serie A player, not Serie A, the La Liga Player of the Month, or Mbappe, right? One of these two wins it. That SBC card is just going to be in everyone's teams. The power curve is already going to be pushed immediately. If in the Premier League we get maybe not a Calafiori, Etiquette, if we get Haaland, which isn't impossible, but if we get Haaland, again, it's just going to be an absolute machine of a card. In the Serie A, there's some good options. Olise is going to be crazy. The French league is, you know, highly likely to be a PSG player, specifically like, you know, a Dembele or something. Claudia Pina getting a card wouldn't be like too problematic, but I do think that there's just every possibility that the players might be so good for the early stages that it would completely, immediately conflict with what EA have said about trying to like slow the power curve down. So I really wouldn't be surprised, guys, if this year we did not get Player of the Month. Now, in FC25, we did get a Pepsi promo where you could go and get a code off of a bottle of Pepsi and it gave you some SP and some packs. Well, unbelievably, it's coming back. So Donk Trading here says free FC26 packs with Pepsi promo. The codes will be on the bottles starting in October. And so, you know, nothing too crazy there, but something nice to look at. Something nice to have. If you're a Pepsi fan, you know, maybe you go and buy a couple of bottles of Pepsi, you get yourself a couple of codes, you get yourself a couple of packs, maybe a little bonus extra here or there. But I actually remember quite vividly last year, I didn't take part in it, actually. I couldn't be bothered. I think it only gave like a 5k pack. It was so insignificant what it actually offered, but it really wasn't worth buying the bottle of Pepsi for. So we'll have to see what the actual rewards are this time around to see whether or not it is going to be worthwhile or not. And as you can see here, the Pepsi promo in FC25, scanning the QR code and entering a unique code gave you, what did you have to do? You had to purchase it, you scanned it, redeemed the rewards, and the rewards were crest kits, stadium themes, and season points to advance your season pass. And then you had a chance apparently to win a gaming console. So, like, I mean, it wasn't nothing, but yeah, I do remember that Pepsi badge hilariously. I didn't have it because I didn't care whatsoever for me. Now, although not the greatest choice of player to use for the card, we have already got the first FC26 brand new promo released/leaked, and it is a little bit of something new, but also a little bit of something old that they're bringing back that I am delighted for personally. and it is Silver Stars. So the FC26 World Tour Silver Superstar card design, interesting concept, says AC Foot Trader. Now, the card design is absolutely brilliant, but for me personally, Silver Stars was amazing. You know, every week we would have a Silver Star Team of the Week objective where you'd get 74 rated, kind of like really like boosted silver card. At the start of Evolutions, they stopped it, so we haven't had it for 2 years now. I don't think we had it in FC24 anyway. We obviously definitely didn't have it this year. I don't think we had it last year. Man, I really can't remember. But in any case, because of Evolutions, there was a case, an argument to be made that like you didn't need Silver Stars. However, I think people really appreciate bronze and silver promo cards and special cards, especially if you're like a fan of like a smaller club or a player that's like gone to a bit of an obscure nation or something like that. You know, it's really, really fun to be able to pick up players that have got really bad cards and see them get that initial boost. Like, you know, we take, for example, last season, my Miles Lewis-Skelly for Arsenal. He was a bronze card. And until he got his first team of the week, which was 87 rated, his bronze card was 58 rated. Now, the problem with this card as a 58 rated is that its stats, his stats, were so atrocious that even evoing him, you struggled to make him good whatsoever. If his first in form was a 64 rated bronze bronze beast, if we're not doing silver stars, or a 74 rated silver stars or silver superstar, I would have been all about that, because at that point I can then take the card and upgrade him more. And so I'm really excited to see what EA have got in the early stages for a silver kind of promo, the silver superstars, especially if, you know, if this kind of concept is carried on throughout the whole year, and we've got evolutions for silver cards, and we've got special silver superstars and silver stars coming back. When it comes to specifically tournaments, EA could run tournaments for silver teams only. How cool would that be? But they could also do things in Gauntlet where you could have to have a certain amount of silver cards in your team, or if you're just running the Gauntlet, and you know, we know the Gauntlet is like you can only use one player one time or the team one time. If you've got some really fun silver cards, you could absolutely use those cards in the Gauntlet as well. So I'm really excited for the World Tour Superstars. We obviously got World Tour players this year as well, and they were decent. I remember that Garcia card was in my team for quite a while at the very start from the World Tour. The first sort of like month or two of the game, I really used a lot of those World Tour cards before they really fell out, kind of like out of rotation and out of the like usability. But I'm really excited for this Silver Superstar promo to come, because I just think there's a big scope with things that you can do with it. And last but not least today, guys, I just want to break down, now that the pre-order bonus has gone, what do you get for the Ultimate Edition versus Standard Edition now that the pre-order of bonus has gone? So what you get from the Ultimate Edition is you get 7 days of early access starting September the 19th. If you've only got the Standard Edition, you have to wait until September the 26th. Now, as always, that might feel like a long amount of time in like the game cycle. You might feel like you're way behind. I promise you, even if you don't get the Ultimate Edition, guys, yes, that first day that you log on, you might be a little bit behind. By the end of the third or fourth day, you'll just be up to scratch with everyone else. You know, you don't get like such a significant advantage by being on the game for 7 days earlier. However, there's a couple of things here that I think are so valuable for getting the Ultimate Edition early, especially if you are somebody that wants a season pass, and especially if you are somebody that would spend money on FC points anyway. Not that I condone it or encourage it, but just if you are within yourself, you get 6,000 FC points distributed over 2 months to build your Ultimate Team squad faster. Now, I know what I'm like, and I know what I was like last year when I spent my FC points on evolutions and a store pack. I wish I hadn't. This year, with the Season Pass available, so not only do you get Season 1 Premium Pass with the Ultimate Edition, whereas you do not get the Season 1 Premium Pass with the Standard Edition. That's not to say that you can't access it, you just don't get it kind of like for free. You know, it comes, the Ultimate Edition comes with the Season 1 Premium Pass unlocked already, whereas the Standard Edition, you will have to unlock it. if we're going off the understanding once again that the season pass, the premium pass is going to be 1,000 FC points, and you get given one and you get 6,000 points distributed to your account, I will be using those points on the season pass, the premium pass, because now I'm going to get seven seasons of the season pass just because I bought the Ultimate Edition. We are currently in season 10 for The Club Is Yours, which means I will only have to spend on 3 seasons worth of season passes, and that will be at the back end of the game when coins are way easier to obtain. And I think that's brilliant. Honestly, if you use these FC points well and use them smartly and use them on the season pass, and you can get up to 7 season passes for just buying the Ultimate Edition because of that, I think that is a really, really smart idea. And I think it's genuinely well worth the Ultimate Edition even now. Even though you've missed out on the pre-order bonuses, you can still get that bonus there, which I think is very good. Not only that, but on the Standard Edition, you get 1 player evolution slot included, which is a base amount for all players. On the Ultimate Edition, you get an additional player evolution slot is included from the start, allowing you to involve 2 players at once. Now, 2 things on this. The first thing is, this will maintain at a +1 from the Standard Edition throughout the whole course of the game. So right now, in general, we can Evo 2 players on FC25. Once Evoing 2 players becomes open to everybody on FC26, people that bought the Ultimate Edition will have a 3rd Evo slot. And so if I don't know if they'll go up to 3 and 4 or 4 and 5, maybe, I don't know. But in any case, we know that there will be a 2nd, and we know that the Ultimate Edition people will have a 3rd. And the reason why I think that's going to be important this year, again, I will say it, the Gauntlet, tournaments, champs, rivals, having so much to play for in gameplay rather than in menus is going to be great to use as many players as you can and Evo as many players as you can. And because we are now going to start getting repeatable Evos, and from what we understand from the narrative EA have talked about and what we've seen in some of the pieces of content where the EA staff have talked about this, we're going to be getting a lot more Evos but with lower boosts. So now all of a sudden you can build 2 or 3 Evos at once and work through them. It's not going to feel like an utter chore to go through your Evos and sit there and think, oh, well, I've got 3 players I want to Evo from the Evos that came out on Friday. One's going to take 15 games. Once he's finished, the next one's going to take another 12 games. And once he's finished, a 3rd guy's going to take another 10 games. And then you get another Evo on Saturday, which is going to be even more games. Now, instead, you're going to be there going, right, I can load in 2 or even 3 Evos all at once, lock them all straight in, and start playing to upgrade them. So that additional Evo slot will be a massive time saver in the early days, specifically in the early days. And once again, I think is well worth the Ultimate Edition. We've then got FC26 icon player. Now, I think as this is like kind of Google's AI mode, I don't think this is entirely accurate, but it does say includes the potential for an icon player as a limited time pre-order bonus. The pre-order bonus is gone. Pre-orders made before August 26, 2025 received an untradeable icon FC player item in FC26 that would later be upgraded to a champion icon. That again is for the pre-order bonus. We don't have that available now. We just have the Ultimate Edition. So I don't think the Ultimate Edition comes with that. And it's the same here for the FC25 bonuses. This is just about pre-order bonuses. And then for career and clubs, it includes, this is for both of them, it includes 3 icon career players and a 5-star coach and youth scout and club bonuses like architect unlock consumable. So I do think the 7 days early access, that's nice to have. It's not the be all and end all, but I think the season 1 premium pass, the 6,000 FC points and the additional Evo player slot are so valuable. Like, I would pay for them in FC25. I would have paid for an extra Evo slot with money. I would, like, we obviously paid for the season pass, although we did it with coins as it went. I just think it's very, very, very much worthwhile, guys. And so that's where we're at. So, yeah, FC26, we're getting closer and closer. That is everything I had to bring to you in terms of, like, the news and the kind of questions that I've been asked over the last few days, especially about, like, the FC points kind of being transferable and such. As more information comes out, I will continually make more content around FC26. But for today, guys, thank you as always for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. I'm out. Peace.